Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Well, big news, eh? Huge news. What do we all think? Who would have seen that coming today, eh? Oh, no. I feel so bad for him. But I'm also like, if he did it knowingly, what a knucklehead. Do you know what I mean? What an absolute div. But if he did it and was tainted, I don't know we still don't know necessarily the ins and outs of like how it occurred. I think though, in the eyes of the FA, they don't give a toss. They don't give a fuck. They do not care. They see it in one dimension, and understandably so, because how on earth can you prove when and where he took the actual, like, the first dose of whatever it was that he took? You know, if it was a tainted supplement, how do you know? How can you prove that? How can you tell? The fact of the matter is, he's taken something. You know, he's taken something, and or well, we know what it is. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's just I don't know. We're going to go through some of the tweets, some of the information, some of the news that is breaking. Obviously, we are going to be focusing heavily, mainly on the news surrounding Makayo Mudrik. Also, Gittins is still priority number one. João Pedro is also another person that we've already shown interest. It is nothing new, but the interest is increasing. And also, Nicholas Jackson has been linked with a move to Aston Villa and someone else as well. I can't remember who it was. But we'll get into that at some point today. I will say, no Real Madrid stream tonight, unfortunately. News is obviously breaking regarding this. So after this, I'm going to be doing a video on it as well. And I still need to do a video on the Premier League fixtures, which we can talk about here. But in the interest of time, I think we talk about Mudrik. So he wasn't the person to break it. In fact, I think it might have been, was it Ornstein? It might have been Ornstein. But Fabrizio, naturally, latching onto any and all news, has come out and said, official Makayo Mudrik charged by the FA for anti-doping violations and could face up to a 4-year ban. That is a maximum sentencing, or I guess it is technically a sentencing, but a maximum potential ban of 4 years. The quote from, I'm assuming, the FA reads as follows: "We can confirm that Makayo Mudrik has been charged with anti-doping rule violations alleging the presence and or use of a prohibited substance in terms of regulations 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations. As this is an ongoing case, we are not in a position to comment further at this time." So this has been going on for, I mean, ironically, in the picture, I'm wearing the same shirt as Mudrik is. It's just, these things obviously take a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, was it Pogba was the most recent one to be I mean, he's the most prolific player. I'm sure there's like lesser known players, but was it Paul Pogba who was most recently the most prolific player to be charged with doping? I can't think of anyone else. There's been people that were banned for like gambling and all that sort of stuff and match fixing, but obviously Pogba had a lengthy ban. Pogba doping ban duration. World Cup winner Paul Pogba's doping suspension has been reduced to 18 months from an initial 4 years, the Court of Arbitration for Sport said on Friday. That was on the 4th of October, 2024. So from 4 years to 18 months. Now, in an ideal world, for Micah Mudrik, not for Chelsea. Well, I mean, you could lump Chelsea in with it. From an ideal world, right? If it's 4 years and there is absolutely no way in which that can be reduced, you've got to look at it in a sense of what Luke said, right? There's got to be, the likelihood is that a termination of contract. It's not something that happens all too often, right? However, if I'm not mistaken as well, Adrian Mutu terminated Chelsea. Did he got on 28th of October 2004, Chelsea terminated Mutu's contract with immediate effect after the FA declared that he had failed a targeted drug test. So this is not the first time that this has happened at Chelsea, albeit his drug use was more so of the Colombian variety. This one, I think, is more to do with, performance enhancing. The difference really doesn't make too much in this sense. Drugs are drugs, doping is doping, and I think that he's going to be treated in the same way. And a termination of his contract is all but a matter of time. It's a when rather than an if. I think 18 months for Pogba because, I mean, they proved something or other. But with regards to Mudrik, I have a feeling they must know that there is some. But then you could argue that with Pogba, you know what I'm saying? Now, the argument here is, right, and we'll go into some of the other quotes if there are any other things to talk about regarding Mudrik, if there's any other news specifically. Is if it is reduced to 18 months, like it was for Pogba, if it's reduced to 18 months, does that reduce the likelihood of him being terminated? Or, because 4 years, if he's out for 4 years, there's no fucking point. There's absolutely no point. And again, I feel like I've gone on this website so much lately, but if you go onto the Capology website and look up his wage, £100,000. I mean, has his salary been like paused for the time being? Because I'm fairly sure, was it? I mean, for different reasons, but was it Benjamin Mendy when he was going through his issues outside of football? Man City completely froze his contract. They froze his payment. They froze everything, and I don't think he ever got. I think they took them to court and got his money because obviously he was proven innocent. Maybe I don't know. I don't think he was. I don't think he was innocent, based on the information that we know. But still, that's all alleged. But still. You've got to think, right? This is still going to take some time. This still needs to go to, I'm assuming, a court hearing. Allegedly. They still need to work out the finer details, which they have been doing for a long, long time now. So you tend to wonder, even if it's reduced to 18 months, right? I don't believe that the ban starts today or from match day 1 against Crystal Palace. I don't think that is necessarily when the ban will start. So you're looking at the 18 months minimum. There's no way they're going to reduce it below 18 months. And you've got to then add on the extra time that it's going to take to get to when the ban is actually starting. And if it's 4 years, he's gone. But like I say, with the 18 months, you're still looking easily at 2 years, I reckon. Right? So we're going into the 25-26 season. He's going to miss that. 26-27 season, he's going to miss that. then you're looking at the 27-28 season that you're looking at. I don't see a world in which Micaiah Mudrik is still at the club at that time. Now, you look at his contract, it expires in 2031. There's still a whole heap of time on that contract. You know? He's 24 years of age. He'll be 28. Is he 24 or 25? Mudrik. He's 24 years old. He will be 28. 28 years old when he returns to football, should he serve the full 4-year ban. Crazy stuff. Absolutely crazy stuff. But there's no world in which, right, like you say, maybe a mutual agreement to release him would be best. I don't think saving face for Micaiah Mudrik is on the list of things that he has, like, in terms of his priorities, is saving face. Everyone knows he's a cheat at this point now, based on the evidence that we've been provided. Allegedly, you know. That is what the FA are implying, that Micaiah Mudrik is a cheat. He has taken drugs to better his performance. So, him being terminated in terms of contract, him being he's already been exiled, but him being banished from Chelsea won't be any worse than what he already looks like. Do you know what I mean? Like, the world is still already looking at... The world already looked at him as a failure as it was, based on the performances that he put in at Chelsea, you know? So, him being terminated it's just a given at this point. I just don't see a world in which, like, surely, it's bound to happen, right? Again, looking elsewhere, Chelsea's Micaiah Mudrik has been charged by the English Football Association for dubbing. He is now facing a lengthy ban under FA rules. Mudrik could be as long as 4 full years. It was first announced by Matt Law. And there is a Telegraph. I'm hoping this isn't one that has a subscription. It does, but there's ways to get around it. Let me get the link and I'll send it to myself, because guess what? I still don't have Twitter on my fucking computer. So let's get that up and we can read into it in a little bit more detail, because Matt Law has done apparently done a full segment on the thing. Let me just... There's a way to do this. There is absolutely a way to do this. I'm gonna do it. Oh, you bastard! You've got to copy and paste really quick. Did that work? Did that work? It did not work. I've got to be quick. Because the subscription thing, you've got to fucking get right in there. Oh, I think I might have done it that time. No. Man. Oh, hang on. Just had a mental nosebleed. Oh, I know. Why am I bothering with fucking... No, I've pasted there. Fucking hell. Get a grip. Right, did we get anything there? There we go. Chelsea winger Micaiah Mudrik has been charged by the FA. I'm trying to copy and paste the text off of a Telegraph. What do you call it? News article. But they do that thing where the subscription comes up, so you can't read it unless you subscribe, and I can't be asked to subscribe. But it reads as follows. I'll see how much I can get. There's quite a few things to talk about here, it would seem. It reads as followed. Chelsea winger MUDRYK has been charged by the Football Association with doping offences and faces a lengthy ban. The Ukrainian forward could be suspended for as long as 4 years under FA rules after providing a positive A sample believed to contain the prohibited performance-enhancing substance meldonium last year. So meldonium last year. Mudrik was provisionally suspended while he and Chelsea waited for the results of a B sample. Now, the B sample, they've now confirmed, I would put in so many words, that is where they've come to the conclusion, is that the B sample still showcases that he has, of course, been taking it. What does melodium do? Hang on. Melodium. PED. So, melodium is a prescribed. It's prescribed for cardiovascular, neurological, and metabolic conditions due to its anti-ischemic and cardioprotective effects. So, I mean, I'm assuming it's a better version of sort of like a recovery technique. You know, it helps with cardiovascular. That's the main thing out of all of that to take from that, is that it's used to improve your cardiovascular ability, based on what I read there. It says that an FA spokesperson told Telegraph Sport, we can confirm that MUDRYK has been charged with anti-doping rule violations alleging the presence and or use of a prohibited substance in terms of regulations 3 and 4 of the FA's anti-doping regulations. As this is an ongoing case, we are not in a position to comment any further. Hang on. Mudrik hired Morgan Sports Law to work on his case, with Chelsea also providing support. So Chelsea, albeit not taking a side necessarily to imply that he is, or that they think he's innocent, they obviously have to support, an employee of the company. If, of course, the player, being Mudrik, has more or less stressed that he is innocent. I think him pleading his innocence got Chelsea on his side a little bit, but not necessarily them shouting through the rooftops that they think he's innocent. The firm also represented former Juventus midfielder Paul Pogba in his appeal against a 4-year doping ban, which the Court of Arbitration for Sport later reduced to 18 months. We were obviously talking about that just a moment ago regarding Pogba. So the same company representing Mudrik in this represented Pogba in his appeals process to take it from 4 years down back to 18 months. So a bit of good news there, I would say. They obviously aren't miracle workers. If he's done what it is that they say that he's done, then what drug did Pogba take? Oh my word, that's a long word. They're not miracle workers. If he's taken the drug that he is alleged to have taken, then it's going to be proven as such, and then he's going to be obviously charged regardless. Because, like I say, even if he was tainted, even if it was, it's just a prank, sorry, Makayo, it was just a fucking laugh, you know what I mean? The FA don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't want cheats. They don't want someone, like I said at the start, how can they fucking prove? How are they supposed to prove that he did it as a joke, or someone gave it to him as a joke, or someone did it to him as a ruse, or as a bit of revenge, or whatever? It doesn't matter how it got in his system. He's still taking it in the eyes of the FA. They can't prove how it got in his system. The only thing that matters is that it's in his system, or was in his system. So whilst I personally don't I don't know the guy, obviously. But what we know of Mudrik, he's such an innocent soul. He seems such an innocent person. Obviously not innocent in this sense, but he seems like such an innocent, hardworking person that I don't believe that he took this knowingly. Again, it doesn't fucking matter in the eyes of the FA, and I totally understand and appreciate that. It's harsh, but, you know, there's fine margins in professional football, then professional sports as a whole. You know, if these things are taken so seriously, and it's been taken so seriously, it's taken fucking ages for anything to come out regarding anything to do with the news regarding Mudrik. Pogba terminated his contract at Juventus and he's looking for a new club after his 18-month ban ended in March. Mudrik denied knowingly breaking any rules. It was claimed that the Ukrainian international tested negatively in August last year and insisted he had not changed any of his behavior since then. I'm fairly sure, I know he might go on to say this, but I'm fairly sure he took a polygraph, didn't he? Did Mudrik not come out and say that he took a polygraph test and he passed? Which obviously doesn't hold up in a court of law or anything, but I'm fairly sure he took a polygraph or a lie detector, for those of you, just to confirm, just in case you didn't know. But he took a lie detector test, which is fairly conclusive. And you fucking know. It's all based on heart rate, everything. You know Mudrik is a nervous little boy, and he's a nervous little Nelly. You can imagine he must have been shitting it in most instances, right? But for the fact that he was cool as anything to pass a polygraph or a lie detector test and pass it would suggest to me, like, he wasn't asked, did you take it? Because he knows he's taken it. He would have been asked, did you knowingly take it? Did you intend to take it? And if his eyes, in his mind, the answer's no. It is fucking hard. How hard is it to cheat a polygraph? Many scientists are concerned that the theory behind lie detectors is faulty, since a physiological response is not necessarily linked to lying. A 2011 meta-analysis by the American Polygraph Association found that polygraph tests using comparison questions had incorrect outcomes about 15% of the time. In theory, someone who can control their bodily responses may be able to influence the readings, potentially distorting the results. Wait. I like Mudrik. I don't rate him as a footballer necessarily, and I never have done. But I don't think the guy has the wherewithal. I don't think he has the ability to manipulate a fucking polygraph test. Let's just put it that way. I'm not calling him thick, but he is a footballer, and I know some footballers. You know, I mean, Frank Lampard's IQ is 150, which puts him in the top 1 to 2% of the country. Frank Lampard, a very intelligent individual. I don't think Google's going to necessarily Mudrik IQ. I don't think it's going to tell me his IQ. Many would argue he has no footballing IQ, let alone an IQ to be able to manipulate a polygraph test. Needless to say, right? I think he's telling the truth that he didn't knowingly take it. But again, it doesn't matter in the eyes of the FA. But again, Mudrik denied knowingly breaking any rules. It was claimed that the Ukraine international tested negatively in August last year and insisted he had not changed any of his behaviors since then. Now, this obviously all occurred, this all happened whilst on international duty at Ukraine or with Ukraine. And it is now known, it's now more than established that Mudrik didn't take anything in the UK. It was all taken elsewhere. I don't know if it was in the Ukraine. I don't think it wouldn't have been in the Ukraine because of what's going on over there. But it's well known and well established that he did this and consumed said melodium or whatever it's called whilst on international duty with Ukraine. In a statement posted on Instagram in December last year, Mudrik said, "I can confirm that I have been notified that a sample I provided to the FA contained a banned substance. This has come as a complete shock, as I have never knowingly used any banned substances or broken any rules, and am working closely with my team to investigate how this could have happened. I know that I have not done anything wrong and remain hopeful that I will be back on the pitch soon." Of course, now that we know that, it's not the case. He hasn't played for Chelsea since November. "I cannot say any more due to the confidentiality of the process, but I will as soon as I can." And of course, again, with that, he has not spoken since. I don't think he is allowed to really say anything. I will try my best to fucking get that. Let me try and get Chelsea. He has not played since. Where is it? Mudrik has not played for Chelsea since November last year, and under the rules of his provisional suspension, has not been able to train at the club's Cobham base or with any teammates. So, whilst he was, he, by all accounts, he hasn't had any contact in a footballing capacity with Chelsea or any of the players. Bo the Viking, just quickly with the super chat. Thank you very much, mate. Do appreciate it. Meldonium. Meldonium is found in cow's milk, chickens, and a few other things that are sold to the public in Russia and Ukraine. So I don't know if that'll be taken into context, or I mean, it clearly hasn't. It clearly hasn't at all. Please do like the stream, by the way. Really do appreciate it. Subscribe as well. It's highly likely. I'm sure that there are many theories out there as to how this would have happened, why this would have happened, or for what reason this would have happened. Yeah, just as well he got an 8-year contract. 4 years. Absolutely crazy stuff just coming out, of course. The 24-year-old travelled on his own to watch the club compete in the final of the Europa Conference League and saw his number 10 shirt go to Cole Palmer this summer. Chelsea and Morgan Sports Law have been approached for comment, and no such comment has been given. Now, if we go onto the Chelsea Twitter page, or even, actually, because they do tend to steer away when this sort of thing happens, like important stuff, they don't necessarily post it on Twitter straight away, and they like to post it on the website first, but nothing has been posted. Absolutely nothing so far has been posted. 4 years is criminal for that substance, and the fact it's used readily in Ukraine, outrage. I think it's not, I wouldn't say harsh is the word, right? They've got to keep up the same precedent as they have done in the past with other players, Pogba being the most recent one. But it's sort of what was to be expected. No, like everyone already knew that. Everyone already knew that was most likely going to be the suspension that he was given. So strict confidentiality remains, including through any appeal, which could go all the way to CAS. Mudrik has previously denied knowingly taking any banned substances. And I would argue that one of the main things to take from this as well is the amount of money that we spent on him, which has constantly been up for debate, of course. But even if you look at it as like 60 million, 80 million, 100 million, doesn't matter. It's a fucking lot of money. And as Dave has said, he's got to go down as probably the biggest flop of all time. Not even just at Chelsea, which takes some fucking doing, by the way, because we've had plenty. But my word, for the amount of money, the amount of hype, the amount of expectation that this kid had, it is crazy, absolutely crazy that we find ourselves in a position here that would suggest that we are, I mean, how many fucking games has the guy played for us? If I was to guess, I'd say like 40 games maximum, and that's off the bench for a lot of them. He has played a lot of games, it would seem. My goodness. 17 games in his first season, 41 in his second season. What? Where the fuck is these? Hang on. Where's all this come from? What? He's played 73 competitive games for Chelsea. Bollocks. Bollocks. Absolute He's played 53 Premier League games. Utter shit. There's not a fucking chance in hell he's played that many games for Chelsea in the league, let alone 70 fucking how many? Jesus Christ. Not a chance. But even still, that makes out. So, how much did Chelsea pay for Mudrik? 20-year-old has agreed an 8.5 year deal, 62 million euros with an extra 27 million in bonuses, right? So let's work this one out. 62 plus 27 is 89 divided by 73. Chelsea have paid 1.21 million per game that Mudrik has featured in. That's how much that fucker's cost us. That's how much he's cost us. 1.21 million per game that he's played for Chelsea. He's scored 10 goals. 10 goals. So that's 8.9 million per goal that he scored. We paid 9 million pounds per goal from Mudrik. It's fucking insane. This means that Kiev are going to lose that 27 million. They are, yeah. A few of them were bangers, to be fair. Yeah, you're right. I mean, we had a couple of good ones, that's for sure. Anto with the super chat as well. Thank you very much, mate. Do appreciate it. He has done 4 years. Just pay him off. Pay him off! He should be paying us off. Paying us for damages. Paying us for breach of contract. You know what I'm saying? There's no way to pay him off. What are you talking about? Must be crazy. He owes us. He wins his appeal / ban down to 18 months. So this is the question to you. And let me know in the comments or in the chat. If it's 18 months, right? Say this takes like 6 months. Say the appeals process takes 6 months. How long did it take for Pogba? How long did Pogba's appeal take? Unsure. Does anyone remember? It was a what? Had the original ban stood The 2018 World Cup winner would have been unable to play until 2027 when he'll be 34. Try Grok. I can't because I haven't got it on my computer. Because Twitter's fucking shit. Let's say it took 6 months, right? So that's 24 months, is it? That's 2 years from now. Say he misses all of this season and all of next season and starts in the 27-28 season, right? Would you keep him on for that amount of time? Considering the fact that we have him on an 8-year contract and his contract ends in 2031, it makes absolutely no sense. Even 2 years as a minimum, right? 6 months appeal, 18 months ban. Although maybe, I don't know, it might already, like, if he's appealing, it's already like in process. The ban's already in process. So they're not going to just be like, oh, he's appealing it, let's make him wait even longer. So it's 18 months. 18 months. He comes back for the end of the 26-27 season. You think he's shit now? The appeal took 7 months, so it's probably another 11 months. There's no way they make you wait for the appeal to be over for them to start the ban. Let's say it's 18 months, right? You think he's shit now? He hasn't played since November, so that's 18 months, right, from now. Plus, what is that? December, January, February, March, April, May, June. Another 7 months. So he would have not played football for 25 months. And obviously, naturally, he will be training with himself and with his team. But I just don't see it being worth it in the long run. It's just going to be a nightmare, isn't it? Like the most likely outcome is that he gets a terminated contract, and then more than likely he'll fuck off to a Ukrainian side will lap him up. They'll pick him up. He'll go back to Donetsk or something. Do you know what I mean? He'll go back to Shakhtar Donetsk and Shakhtar Donetsk, and just live out the rest of his days there as a footballer. Do you know what I mean? It's a tough old world. It's a tough old situation for him, bless him. And I do believe that he is innocent in the fact that he hasn't done it. But court of law, court of the FA and all that sort of stuff, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They do not care. Just briefly then, on other situations, we've got Nicholas Jackson, who is currently being linked with Inter Milan. An Inter Milan scout is suing the club for mental torture. I've been got. They've got me. It says an Inter Milan scout is suing the club for mental torture after being forced to scout Chelsea forward Nicholas Jackson. As per Fabrizio Romano. It's, I mean, whilst a joke, I would argue that's probably not too far off. Aston Villa are ready to enter discussions to try and tempt Nicholas Jackson away from Chelsea and reunite him with Unai Emery. That came via Give Me Sports. I've already said, personally, if Jackson was to go, I wouldn't really be adverse to it. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't say anything necessarily that would suggest that I'm anything but pro Jackson out. I think the time's come. I think, good game against LAFC, but I'm not going to get excited over the prospect of another season with him. You know what I'm saying? I think at the very most, I would see a world in which Jackson might necessarily get dropped into a different role. Seen loads of people argue that he's better as a number 10, but then we've got fucking Santos, you've got Palmer, we've got so many players who are going to be better suited to that play. And we've seen that clip a million times of the Pedro Neto goal from the referee's position. And it's a great bit of play. It's a great bit of play. But come on, we saw the quality of that game between Chelsea and LAFC. It was not a good game of football. You know, do we risk going into another season with Nicholas Jackson and give him the benefit of the doubt and give him a chance once again to showcase that he has changed or bettered or improved or that, you know, he can prove us wrong? I don't necessarily think that there is anything left to prove. He hasn't got anything to prove. He's already shown what his ceiling is, I think. That said, I have said that everyone gets a clean slate at the beginning of the season. So if he does stay, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. And for the longest time, I was actually one of the last remaining people, at least doing what I do on camera and spewing about what I think about Chelsea and the players. I was one of the last remaining backers of Nicholas Jackson, I'll have you know. I backed him through thick and thin. And it was only recently that I think there was a very significant meltdown that I had where I was backing him, and then he did something. It wasn't the Newcastle red card. It was way before then. But I just lost it with him. I'd lost all patience with him, and I was just like, do you know what? You guys are right. All of you that have been slagging him off, he's shit. He's this, he's that. If he comes out all guns blazing next season and proves us wrong, good on you. But I personally think Liam Delap is coming for that spot. I think he's going to be way more determined, way more sort of fired up, way more motivated. You saw how disappointed and how frustrated Nicholas Jackson looked coming off against LAFC to be replaced by his soon-to-be replacement in Liam Delap, and it's a sign of things to come, I think, because we looked like a much better side. We looked like a much more threatening side. And listen, before you lot say you're being harsh on Jackson, I said he actually had a good game against LAFC. If you watched my review, I went into great detail. I went into great detail as to how much I thought Jackson was one of the better players in the game. Now, his ability to stay on side is always up for debate. But I again, on record, I was saying that I thought he was one of our better players in that game. Do I think he's the man to go forward for us in the future seasons? Absolutely not. No. I'm just not. I'm not moved by Jackson anymore. There have been moments in the past where I have been, but my time with him has very swiftly come to an end. As I said, though, come next season, if he's still at the club, clean slate, fresh start. But I'm saying this to all of you, fucking the bastards. The manager, you can get it. The players, you can get it as well. No one's out of the realm of possibility. If you start throwing stinkers, right? I've said Maresca. I've said Maresca has a pass. He got the job done. I've said my reasons as to how and why that happened. We got Champions League, and I was like, we got lucky in certain circumstances, but we did overcome those obstacles. We overcame this, that, and everything else. And I've said, I've given the benefit of the doubt. I said, hey, listen, he's done it regardless. We got us Champions League regardless of everything that I said, all the excuses I made. And I can't question the man. That said, if he stinks the gaff up, he's got until Christmas. You know, he's got for me, he has got until Christmas to just keep moving us up. We're going to have signed some good players eventually in this window. And obviously, if you guys watch the Transfer Daily streams every single day, I'm going to be live 6 p.m. UK time every weekday, 3 p.m. on the weekend. And then once the Club World Cup's over, I might move it to 7 p.m. But either way, keep an eye out. But we will be doing all the coverage of everything here. But still, in terms of Maresca, I'm still like, if it all goes to shit, and I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be wrong. I don't want to be right. Sorry, I don't want to be right. I hope he proves us wrong and continues to get better and better. And you see these people say like the ceiling for Maresca is up here, and then other people are like he's got 4th place max written all over him. I don't really know what to believe at this point. I think last season we were all over the place, and it's really hard to gauge. It's really hard to tell where we are as a club still. But with the recruitment of some new players, some higher quality players, Champions League as a bit of an incentive. We've got Delap, we've got Gittins on the way. We also have Joao Pedro allegedly is a big interest. Fabrizio Romano tweeted out saying, "Understand Chelsea have Brighton's Joao Pedro, another fucking Brighton player. I personally, if we could never sign another Brighton player ever again, I'd be happy. I'd be so happy, Just quickly, Energy Donk. Great name. Thank you very much for becoming a member. If you want to become a member as well, please do check the link in the comments or in the description down below. But thank you very much. Really do appreciate it. Joao Pedro as one of the targets of their shortlist for this summer. Highly appreciated. Initial contacts took place to be informed on situation as Joao can leave this summer. Newcastle already approached Brighton this week. So what are we talking about here? What are we looking at here? Joao Pedro. He is worth about 50 million euros. So we're looking about 40 million pounds, 35 million pounds. 23 years old, Brazilian, centre forwards. I personally, 27 games played in the Premier League for Brighton, 10 goals, 6 assists, 16 GA in 27 games. I don't know what people are moaning about. That sounds all right. That's pretty decent. But I understand he's not a fan favourite. I understand that he's not someone widely regarded as a player that people want or consider to be a very good player. In terms of salary, he is on... Where is he? Joao Pedro. He is on £50,000 a week. Respectable. Could see that going up to like 75,000, 70,000. I don't think we'd be breaking the bank for him. And I think 35 million for him, much like Liam Delap, right? 30 million for him, albeit it was his release clause. Is there a release clause for Joao Pedro? Don't think there is. 35 million for a player. Yeah, Pedro is 40 to 50 million player, no more than that. Yeah. If we pay more than, for me, I don't really care if we get him. I'm not that bothered about it. I would say anything over 40 million pounds. 40 million pounds. That said, if you're already saying, how much is he worth? Pedro Chelsea have added Joao Pedro as one option, but Newcastle are still the only club engaged in talks for now. Pedro only discussed in mid-June after Liam Delap arrived, with Chelsea seeking a different attacking profile with the expectation Christopher Nkunku leaves. Nothing advanced yet. With no bid or club-to-club talks, Newcastle, on the other hand, are pushing. So it seems like it's going to go to Newcastle unless we throw a spanner in the works for them. If Jackson pulls the spoilt brat sulking face one more time, I want him sold, says Progpus. He looked so annoyed when he came off against LAFC, as if he hadn't played 65 minutes in a pre-season friendly, more or less. You've not been taken off in the Champions League final. It's a first game. It's an opening game in a pre-season tournament, in a group stage match. It's not a big deal, mate. It's not a big deal at all. And lastly, just on the Premier League fixtures, it's it's interesting, is it not? I feel like besides all the fucking leaks and spoilers from people who just can't fucking seem to get a life, and absolutely nothing is spontaneous anymore in football when it comes to stuff off the pitch. You know, a goal from distance might get you a little bit like, ooh, I didn't expect that. You know, a mistake by the goalkeeper might have you like, oh, Jesus Christ. You know, a penalty in the dying moments of a game might have you on the edge of your seat. But when it comes to the dealings and the business outside of football, outside of the actual game, my God, the sport has never been so fucking boring in all its days. In all my days, I've never seen such boring shit outside of the football games. Everything's spoiled. There's nothing. There's an embargo. There is a stipulation. These fuckers who spoil it and leak it are given emails that specifically says that there is a 9 a.m. embargo on it, which means you can't fucking speak about it. You can't tweet about it. You can't do anything. And yet these fuckers still somehow are allowed to leak things about it. I don't understand. But regardless, it's 4 London derbies to kickstart the season. Crystal Palace at home, 2 p.m. kickoff on a Sunday, the 17th of August, 2025. Followed by West Ham away on the weekend commencing the 23rd of August. 30th of August, we've got Fulham, another London derby, this time a West London derby. And then another West London derby. We're playing Brentford away from home, all before a pretty diabolical mini run. Manchester United is not part of that run. But, well, I mean, you kind of could include that. Man United away. We never win at Old Trafford. It's just, it's not something that really goes well, shall we say. Brighton at home. Then it's Liverpool away on the weekend of my 30th birthday. So, I mean, if we play them on my birthday, you best believe I'm getting battered for that. But, well, maybe not, because I kind of want to do stuff on my birthday, considering it's my 30th. But still, you know, it's a big weekend. Nevertheless, Liverpool on my birthday weekend will make for some good viewing, no less. Forest, we don't know how Forest are going to be. You don't know how Forest are going to end up being next season. 16th and 17th in the last 2 seasons, and then fucking dropped off a cliff towards the end of the last season. You never know. And then Sunderland by the end of October. Heading into the Christmas periods, there is no Boxing Day games anymore. That said, we do have Newcastle on the 20th, Villa on the 27th, Bournemouth on the 30th, and then the worst possible scenario. We don't have them on the first game of the season anymore, like we did this season, just gone. We've got Manchester City away on the 3rd of June, which is just shit. Fulham, Brentford, Palace, and West Ham. So we have those games again in order. And then towards the back end of the season, we got a bit of a shit run again. Manchester City. Well, we've got Aston Villa in March. We've got, okay, it gets worse. We've got end of February, we've got Arsenal. Then it's Villa in the beginning of March. Newcastle, Everton, City, United, Brighton, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool, Tottenham, and then Sunderland to finish things off, which the 2 times we faced Sunderland on the final game of the season, we've secured the league. It's a bit of a Europa League situation. Every time we've been in the motherfucker, we've ended up winning the fucking thing. Similar to that, the 2 times we've played against Sunderland on the final day, we've won it. So, who says no? With that said, please do like the stream, like the video, subscribe, hit the bell notification to be notified of any future content on the channel. I will be live tomorrow, 6 p.m. UK time, to discuss any and all transfer news and updates regarding Mudrik as well. Until then, my name is Harry. Out the Chelsea. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you tomorrow. See you.